representative, Vasily Nebenzia, to discuss a common text for a draft resolution have failed. That's a total lie. I guess it means we have a new phenomenon in international relations. Not only do we have fake news, we also now have fake diplomacy.
So it seems that the voting will be taking place on Japan's resolution. We'll be keeping our eye on the UN Security Council chamber, as it seems the whole world is wondering what's going to happen next with this chemical weapons investigation that seems to have so many leading countries divided.
Caleb Moppin there. Well, international affairs commentator Jonathan Steele believes there's a simple explanation as to why the UN Security Council was unwilling.
Melting pot. So they're just trying to stand on the existing position and resist any kind of change, especially if it's a change put forward by Russia. I mean, Russia is unfortunately always in a minority in the Security Council, faced with the phalanx of Western governments, the US, Britain and France particularly.
Meanwhile, the French military say that the international coalition in Syria had opposed the deal that allowed ISIL terrorists safe passage from their former stronghold of Raqqa.
The coalition was not for this agreement, which enabled Islamic State terrorists to escape without being chased. The convoy was monitored by drones, but the terrorists were mixed in with the population, which prevented airstrikes being carried out.
The city of Raqqa was liberated in late October. That's when the US-backed Syrian Democratic Forces struck a deal with the terrorists. The agreement allowed them to withdraw to ISIL-controlled territory. And at the time, almost 300 Syrian militants, along with their families, left the city, according to the SDF spokesman, and no foreign fighters were among them. However, recent media reports do suggest that foreign fighters comprised a large part of that convoy, and some of them have already been smuggled into Turkey. The United States has defended the deal and denied the information that many foreign militants might have fled the city.
We followed these buses as they departed. If opportunities presented themselves to conduct strikes against any potential ISIS fighters that had decided to flee, then we would have provided strikes. That did not present itself, and there were many civilians that were part of that convoy, so that did not happen.
Can you say that no ISIS fighters leave the cities and go somewhere else? Can you say that?
I can't say with a 100% certainty that every single fighter was identified coming out of Raqqa.
Mark Armand, the director of the Crisis Research Institute, believes this latest divide in the coalition is down to the growing ambitions of the French leader.
France, under President Macron, is playing a more assertive role in the Middle East. It's trying to mediate the Lebanon crisis with relations between Saudi Arabia and Iran. But of course, that crisis is a reflection of the Syrian crisis, the struggle for influence over Syria, in which Iran is on one side and the Saudis are very definitely on the other. And so the French don't particularly like the idea of radical ISIS fighters, several hundred of whom may be from France and Belgium, escaping from Syria and perhaps returning to Western Europe to wreak mayhem. And the French also would like to be able to influence policy because they think they have expertise, traditional role in the region and the Levant, in Lebanon and Syria in particular, which gives them insights which perhaps they think the Americans don't have.
Now, investigators are still trying to establish why a light aircraft crashed in eastern Russia on Wednesday, killing 6 people, although the incredible story of one girl, just 3 years old, who was the sole survivor, has captured hearts worldwide.
She shielded the girl with her body. She was found lying on her. She knew that the end was close. Her aim was to save the child.
We are lucky that the miracle happened.
We wish her well. Now, in other news this evening, Israel's top military official says his country is willing to share intelligence on Iran with Saudi Arabia. The remarks could further complicate, though, not only the ongoing standoff between Tehran and Riyadh, but also internal affairs in the kingdom, as Issa Ali reports.
Leaders haven't been able to make the case to their own populations, but now feel more comfortable to do so. And it appears the rule of the Middle East is that my enemy's enemy is my friend. So those two countries